Hi there, I'm Francis or Atelier Lamla, and if you clicked on this video, chances are good that you need a new way to store your oil pastels or you just want to enjoy a relaxing organization video. Either way, let's get right into it. Usually, your oil pastels come in these foam-lined boxes, and if they are from a high-quality brand like these Senneliers, every stick will be stored separately. And other times you will receive a flat box where you can store your sticks lying next to each other. My husband gave me this 72 Sennelier set as a gift recently. I noticed that I don't use it as much as my little wooden box or my portrait set. The portrait set started my Sennelier pastel collection a while back. And that's because they just aren't easy to use. What good is this beautiful neat box when I don't want to use it? Painting regularly is hard enough as is, and you don't need even more obstacles in your way. I've been thinking about a different storage system. I came about these two organizers, and usually you can find them in the electronics or screw and nail department of a hardware store. Their original purpose is to store small things like screws, electronic parts, or interchangeable drill heads. My husband didn't want these two anymore, and I was amazed to find that the sticks fit in there perfectly. There are 32 drawers and each one can fit up to 5 sticks. Therefore, I have space for a maximum of 160 sticks. That should be enough. Now, you can organize your sticks in many different ways, but I am going for a good old-fashioned sort by color system. With a storage system like this, there are two things I have to consider. First off, how do I protect the sticks? I don't want them rolling around in there and losing their pigment on the walls of the little drawer. I need a small layer of foam to lie them upon. Luckily, I don't have trouble cutting apart my original storage boxes. If it doesn't suit me and my artistic way of creating, then why keep it? But I can get if that's a no-no for you. In that case, you want to get some layer of foam in the hardware store as well. I cut away the parts of the foam I don't need and cut it to fit into the little drawer. I do that for many of those so that I can get a good workflow going and sort a few at a time. And then we can begin the very fun part of sorting the colors in there. I struggle at first, but as soon as I cut out my swatches as well, it's a lot easier. I simply arrange the swatches, group them into similar color categories, and because I can place either 4 or 5 sticks in one drawer, I also have some wiggle room when there is a stick that just won't fit anywhere. I try to incorporate my painting experiences I collected so far. I'm planning on taking out the full drawer because most times you don't just need one single shade of pale green, but a darker and a lighter shade. Let me give you an example of how I use my prior experiences. As I mentioned, I started with the Sennelier portrait set, and I love that set. It has an incredible collection, and of course I will try to keep those colors together because I paint a lot of portraits. Even though color-wise they might fit better in another drawer. And there are also some colors I was missing for portraits, which I then added to the collection, and I'm keeping that in mind when I choose a drawer for those colors. There is another thing we need to consider though. How can we see which colors are in the drawers? They are see-through when you get them, most times. But my husband had already labeled the drawers with some opaque white label paper. Also, with such a large collection as I have it, I don't think I can truly, through this not quite transparent drawer, see the exact shade I am looking for. At first, I wanted to sort the sticks and then make a little swatch of the colors in each drawer and stick it on the front. But I soon realized what a monumental task that would be and went for the already existing swatches I have. I cut them out and I do two things with them. I cut off the name of the swatch with a sliver of its paint. And that will help me in the future if I have to restock when a stick is empty and the writing on the stick is illegible, which happens quite often. I can still tell which color it is. And then I cut out a small square and stick all of the squares from that drawer onto a double-sided piece of tape. Voila! I know which colors are in the drawer. These yellow separators, I wish they weren't yellow, but they are still very handy. I also wish this drawer system wasn't quite as ugly, but I didn't want to paint it white or do anything else with it. I don't need a perfectly Instagrammable studio. I don't mind that stuff. I hope you don't either. For me, it's all about being practical and being really able to use my art supplies the way I want to. Now, this storage container also has a large drawer at the bottom. That might vary, of course, depending on what kind of storage system you get. But some ideas for more oil pastel related storage would be to store your paper stumps there, maybe linseed oil for diluting the pigment, some detail pencils or other media you often use in combination with your oil pastel sticks. Really just design it the way you need it to be and in a way that makes you paint more of them, because that's ultimately the goal.